Hey everyone, and welcome back to another happy episode of Learning English Studio. I'm Amelia, and I am so glad you could join us today.
Hey, Amelia. Hi to all our fantastic listeners out there. It's always a bright spot in my day when we get to connect like this.
James, it's great to hear your voice. How are you feeling today? You sound particularly cheerful.
Do I? Well, I am. I'm feeling good. And you, Amelia? You've got that energy in your voice that tells me we're about to talk about something fun.
You know me too well. I am buzzing with excitement for our topic today because it's something that can feel a little scary at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's a game changer for your confidence.
Oh, I think I know what it is. It's that thing we do every day, but in a different language. Talking on the phone.
Ding, 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 you got it. We're diving into the world of talking on the phone in English. It's such a vital skill, but I know so many students who feel nervous about it. You can't see the other person's face, so it feels like you're missing half the conversation.
That's so true. It's a unique challenge. You lose all those visual cues like facial expressions and gestures. But that's what makes it such great practice. It really forces you to focus on your listening and your speaking clarity.
Absolutely. But before we get into all the tips and tricks, a little reminder from us to you. If you love what we do here at Learning English Studio, please hit that subscribe button. And sharing our podcast with a friend who might need it, that would just make our day. It really helps us keep going.
It really does. Every share, every like, every subscribe helps us reach more people just like you. Okay, Amelia, I'm ready. Let's demystify phone calls in English.
Let's do it. So, James, let's start at the very beginning. The phone rings. What is the very first thing you say when you pick up the phone?
Well, in a personal context, the most common thing is simply, hello? It's a question with your voice going up at the end. It's simple, friendly, and universal. You could also answer with your name, like, hello, James speaking.
James speaking. That's a good one. It's clear and professional. What about in a more formal or business setting, like if you're answering the phone at an office?
For that, you'd usually state the company name and then your own. For example, good morning, Learning English Studio, Amelia speaking, how can I help you? It's professional, it gives all the necessary information, and ends with an open question to invite the caller to state their business.
How can I help you? Perfect. That's such a key phrase. So that's answering the phone. What about making a call? How do you start a conversation when you're the one dialing the number?
Okay, so once the person picks up and says, hello, you need to state who you are and why you're calling. A simple formula is, hello, this is James. Is Amelia there, please? Or, hi, it's James calling. I'm calling about...
This is James. That's a really important phrase. A lot of learners make the mistake of saying, I am James, but on the phone, this is James is the more natural and standard way to introduce yourself.
Exactly. It's a small but important detail. And notice the please at the end of, is Amelia there, please? It's just that little bit of politeness that makes all the difference. If you're calling a business, you might say, hello, this is James from ABC Company. I'm calling to speak to someone in the sales department, please.
That's a great example. It's clear, concise, and professional. So we've got the opening down. What happens next? Let's say I want to make an appointment, or I'm calling a shop to ask if they have something in stock. What are some useful phrases for the main part of the call?
Okay, so for making an appointment, you could say, I'd like to make an appointment, please. Or, I was hoping to book a time for... For asking about a product, you could say, I'm calling to inquire if you have. The word inquire is a slightly more formal and polite way of saying ask.
I'd like to, and I'm calling to inquire about. Those are fantastic sentence starters. They sound so natural and confident. What if you need to ask the person on the other end to wait for a moment? Maybe you need to find a pen and paper to write something down.
Oh, that's a very common situation. The most polite way to say this is, could you hold on a moment, please? Or, just a second, please. You could also say, one moment, please, I'll just get a pen. It's always good to explain why you're asking them to wait.
Could you hold on a moment, please? I use that all the time. It's so much better than just wait, which can sound very rude. And what if the person you're calling for isn't available? What's a typical conversation for that?
Right, so you might hear something like, I'm sorry, she's in a meeting at the moment, or I'm afraid he's not in the office today. A good response is to be understanding. Oh, I see, no problem. Do you know what time she'll be free? Or, okay, could I leave a message for him, please?
Could I leave a message, please? Another essential phrase. So if you're the one taking a message, what do you say?
You'd say, yes, of course. Can I take a message for her? And then you'd need to get the information. You'd ask, could I have your name, please? And could I have your number, please? And then you'd repeat it back to confirm. So that's James from ABC Company at 555-1234. I'll make sure she gets the message.
That's so important, repeating the information back to confirm. It prevents so many misunderstandings. Okay, let's talk about a slightly trickier situation. What if you can't hear the other person properly? The line is bad, or they're speaking too quietly.
Ah, the classic bad phone line. For this, you have a few options. You can say, I'm sorry, the line is not very good. Could you speak a little louder, please? Or, I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you say that again, please? The phrase, I didn't catch that, is a very natural and polite way to say you didn't hear or understand.
I didn't catch that. I love that. It's much softer than what or I can't hear you. And what if they're speaking too fast? That's a common problem for learners.
Oh, for sure. In that case, you can say, I'm sorry, you're speaking a little too fast for me. Could you speak a little more slowly, please? It's perfectly okay to ask for that. People will understand. You could also add, my English is still learning, so thank you for your patience.
My English is still learning. That's such a humble and honest thing to say. It makes people want to help you. Okay, so we've covered opening, the main conversation, and some problem solving. How do you end a phone call politely?
Ending the call is as important as starting it. You usually signal that you're finishing by using phrases like, well, I won't keep you any longer, or, okay, I think that's all I needed. Then you finish with a polite closing. Thank you so much for your help. And have a great day.
And the other person would respond with something like, you're welcome, you too. And then you wait for them to hang up, or you say goodbye. It's a simple but important dance, isn't it?
It really is. It's all about those little politeness rituals that make communication smooth and pleasant. You know, Amelia, talking about all these phrases is one thing, but hearing them in action is another. Maybe we could do a little role play to show our listeners how it all fits together.
I love that idea. It's my favorite part. Okay, let's set a scene. I am a customer calling a bookstore called The Page Turner. I want to know if they have a specific book in stock. James, you are the friendly bookstore employee. Ready?
I was born ready. Let's do this. The phone is ringing. Ring, ring. I'll pick it up.
Okay, here I go.
Good morning. The Page Turner, James speaking. How can I help you?
Hello, this is Amelia. I'm calling to inquire if you have a book called The Midnight Garden by Lily Chen in stock, please.
The Midnight Garden by Lily Chen. Let me just check for you. Could you hold on a moment, please?
Yes, of course. Take your time.
A few moments pass. Okay, thank you for waiting. Yes, we do have a few copies in stock. It's a very popular book.
Oh, that's wonderful news. What are your opening hours? I'd like to come and pick it up this afternoon.
We're open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day, so you're welcome to come by any time this afternoon.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your help.
You're very welcome, Amelia. We look forward to seeing you later. Have a great day.
You too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See, that was a perfect, successful phone call, and every phrase we used was something we've just talked about. It really shows how these building blocks come together to create a natural conversation.
It really does. And notice how calm and polite it was. There was no rush, no confusion, just clear, simple communication. That's the goal. And the more you practice, the more natural it'll feel.
That's so true. Let's think about some different types of phone calls. We've done a customer service call. What about calling a friend to make plans? That's a much more casual conversation, right?
Oh, absolutely. The language is much more relaxed. You might start with, "Hey, it's me," or "What's up?" Instead of, "I'm calling to inquire," you'd say, "So, are you free on Friday night? I was thinking we could go see that new movie."
What's up? And so, are you free? That's much more informal. You'd use contractions too, like I'm and you're, which you might use less in a very formal business call.
Exactly. And the endings are more casual too. Instead of, "Have a great day," you might say, "Okay, see you then," or "Sounds good, talk to you later." It's all about matching your language to the situation and the person you're talking to.
That's a key point. Context is everything. The language you use with your best friend is different from the language you use with a potential employer. And phone calls are a great way to practice navigating these different levels of formality.
For sure. And let's not forget about leaving a voicemail message. That's a whole other skill. You have to leave a clear, concise message so the person can call you back.
Oh, good point. That's like a mini presentation. What's a good structure for a voicemail?
Well, you should always start by stating your name and the time you called. "Hi, this is James. It's about 2 p.m. on Tuesday." Then, state the reason for your call clearly and briefly. "I'm calling about our meeting tomorrow." Then, leave your contact number, even if you think they have it. "You can reach me at 555-1234. And finally, a polite closing. "Thanks so much. Talk to you soon."
That's a perfect professional voicemail. It's got all the key information. And speaking slowly and clearly is so important for voicemails because the person might need to listen to it a few times to write down your number.
Oh, for sure. And it's a good idea to practice your voicemail message before you even make the call. Just say it out loud to yourself a few times. It sounds silly, but it works. It helps you sound more confident and natural when you actually have to leave the message.
That's a great practical tip. I think a lot of the fear around phone calls comes from the fear of the unknown, of not being prepared. So any little bit of preparation can really boost your confidence.
Absolutely. And you can prepare for common situations. Before you call to make a restaurant reservation, think about what you need to say. "I'd like to make a reservation for 2 people at 7 p.m. tomorrow night." Before you call a doctor's office, think about your symptoms. "I'd like to make an appointment. I have a really bad cough and a fever."
That's such a smart strategy. It's like having a script in your head. It takes away some of the mental load so you can focus on listening and speaking clearly. You know, we've talked a lot about the phrases, but what about the non-verbal side of phone calls? Even though they can't see you, your tone of voice is so important, isn't it?
Oh, it's everything. On the phone, your voice is your entire personality. Smiling when you talk actually makes your voice sound warmer and friendlier. People can hear a smile in your voice. It's a strange but true phenomenon.
That is so true. And your intonation, the music of your speech, is crucial. A flat, monotone voice can sound bored or rude, even if you're saying the right words. Using upward inflection for questions and varying your pitch makes you sound much more engaged and pleasant to talk to.
Exactly. It's something to be mindful of. When you're practicing, try to record yourself and listen back. Do you sound friendly? Do you sound clear? It's a great way to self-correct and improve.
That's an excellent idea. We should all do that more often. Okay, let's think about some common fears or mistakes that learners make on the phone. What do you think is the biggest one?
I think it's the fear of silence. Learners often feel like they have to fill every single second with words, but on the phone, a short pause to think is perfectly natural. You can use filler phrases like, "Well, let me think," or "That's a good question," to give yourself a moment.
That's a great point. Silence isn't your enemy. It's better to take a second to formulate a good sentence than to rush into saying something confusing. And what about the fear of not understanding a word? That can cause people to just freeze up.
Oh, for sure. But we talked about the solutions for that. "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that," or "Could you spell that for me, please?" There's no shame in asking for clarification. It shows you're committed to understanding the conversation correctly.
Could you spell that for me? That's another lifesaver phrase, especially for names and addresses. So, to summarize, the keys to a successful phone call are be prepared with key phrases, speak clearly and with a friendly tone, don't be afraid to ask for help or clarification, and remember that a little silence is okay.
That's a perfect summary. And the most important key of all, practice. The more phone calls you make, the easier and less scary they become. Start with short, easy calls. Call a cinema to ask for movie times. Call a cafe to ask if they're open. Build up your confidence gradually.
That's the best advice. Treat every phone call as a practice opportunity, not a test. No one is judging you. They just want to communicate with you.
Exactly. And think about it this way. Every time you successfully make a phone call in English, you're not just practicing a language skill, you're building your confidence, your independence, and your ability to navigate the world. That's a huge achievement.
That's a beautiful way to look at it. It's about empowerment. Okay, I feel like we've given our listeners a complete toolkit for phone calls today. This has been incredibly practical and useful.
It really has. I hope everyone feels a little less nervous and a little more excited to pick up the phone now.
Me too. And now, as always, it's time to hear from you. We want to get you all involved and practicing your new phone skills.
Yes, let's get interactive. This is where the real fun begins.
Okay, so here's our little challenge for everyone today. We want you to write a short voicemail message in the comments. We're going to give you a scenario, and you write the message you would leave.
Ooh, I love this. It's a great way to practice without the pressure of a real call. What's the scenario, Amelia?
The scenario is you are calling your English language school to say you cannot come to class tomorrow because you are not feeling well. You want to know what the homework is so you don't fall behind. What would you say in your voicemail to your teacher?
That's a perfect realistic scenario. So everyone, get your thinking caps on. Remember the structure, your name, the reason for your call, your question, and your contact information. Try to use some of the polite phrases we talked about today.
Exactly. For example, you could start with, "Hi, this is your name from the morning class." Then explain, "I'm calling to let you know that I won't be able to come to class tomorrow as I'm feeling unwell." Then ask your question, "I was wondering if there will be any homework I could get started on." And don't forget to be polite.
This is going to be so good to see. We'll be able to read all your messages and see how you've put today's lesson into practice. Don't be shy. There are no perfect answers, just good practice.
Exactly. So drop your voicemail script in the comments section below. We can't wait to read them all and see how creative you are. It's the best way to make what you've learned today stick.
And remember, the goal is communication, not perfection. Just give it a go. We're all here to learn together.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. James, thank you so much for breaking down the art of the phone call. This has been an incredibly helpful and empowering episode.
It's been my absolute pleasure, Amelia. I had a great time, and I hope our listeners did too.
And a huge thank you to all of you for listening and for being part of our Learning English Studio family. Your support means everything to us. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave your voicemail challenge in the comments.
Keep practicing, keep smiling when you talk on the phone, and keep being brave. You're all doing an amazing job.
Take care, everyone, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.